Good morning again, guys. All right, thought I'd put both videos out early today because I'm going to be out and about all day, and so I've got things to do, people to see, places to go. Have we just got closer to nuclear war? No, I'm not saying this for fear-mongering or anything. I'm merely stating facts. We are now about a week into Zelensky's illegitimate presidency. Okay. And why I say this is because, remember, there was supposed to be an election last week, and Zelensky canceled the election, saying, no, he's just going to stay in power as long as they're in a war. Okay. So he is now an unelected dictator. Just fact. Okay. Kind of like the same thing Biden wants to be. But, yeah. And who does Zelensky get his marching orders from? Joe. This is where it gets really interesting because Moscow has sent envoys to discuss ending the war. Okay? Zelensky has refused the talks. Think about that for a second. All these people in the United States, in Europe, everywhere, screaming for this war to end. Moscow comes up and says, we want to end it. We'll end it right now with territories held, draw the lines exactly as they are right now. War's over. No more bloodshed. And Zelensky's answer is no. Who do you think told Zelensky to make that decision? We've already been there before, okay? Back in 2022, when the whole war started, Moscow said, we can end this right now. And Zelensky basically signed a declaration saying negotiations were practically illegal at the behest of Joe Biden. Okay. So while Russia is trying to end this war and put a little bit of peace back into Eastern Europe, the Western leaders want to continue the war. They don't have kids fighting there. They're not worried about their families getting attacked or anything like that. They're just goading Zelensky to do more. Now, Zelensky has a problem at the moment. He doesn't have any more manpower. They have now started conscription, okay, basically grabbing people out of their offices off the street and saying, congratulations, you're now a soldier. We're sending you to the meat grinder. Your life expectancy is 24 hours. That's it. Okay. You can tell Zelensky has absolutely no concern for the health or welfare of the Ukrainian citizens, no different than Joe Biden has no great love for the American people. Okay. We're just useful idiots to him who can give him money, and that's it. So this is where we get the potential for nuclear war. Instead of winding down things, Ukraine decided to ramp it up yesterday. And they decided to attack a Russian ballistic missile early warning system in Armavir. Okay, it's about 250 miles off the front lines. It has no military threat to Ukraine whatsoever. It's an early warning system. It's if missiles, ballistic missiles of any sort, are sent into Russia, southern Russia at this point, this would warn the Russians to say, hey, incoming, do something. They damaged it. They didn't destroy it. But how much fear was intended to put in with that? We're going to take out your early warning system. That tells me, if I'm the strategist behind this, you take that out, your next step is to start sending ballistic missiles. If they do that, Do you honestly think Russia wouldn't retaliate? That's what Zelensky's counting on. He's begging Russia to launch some sort of strike on Ukraine because Zelensky doesn't care about his people. I mean, again, fact. While his wife's out shopping in Paris and he's buying condos in Boca Raton, Florida, he's sending his citizens to get killed, okay? Remember all the training videos with people with wooden rifles. You know, those are real effective. So the scenario plays out like this. We take out the early warning system. We send something, you know, an ATAC-M that they've got now. Send something like that and watch Russia retaliate. Feasibly with tactical nukes. If they do something like that, of course, NATO is going to completely get involved. And that's what Zelensky wants. Zelensky's out of people to fight his own war. He doesn't have any more useful idiots. So now he's forcing them. So his plan is to use the useful idiots from Europe, from the United States, from any other country that supports this idiot. What happens if he goads Russia into doing something like this? Again, it's snowball effect. You have a tactical nuke. Oh, we got to send something back. Oh, now Europe gets worried. They send something. Oh my God, now it could come to the United States, back and forth. And the next thing you know is we've got volleys of missiles going across the horizon through half the world. Ukraine doesn't get much talk anymore. Doesn't, you know, there's a new shiny object for the media. This is still a very crucial war. The chances of the U.S. getting involved in Gaza, sending troops, nah, not really. We'll send supplies. The chances of the U.S. or all of NATO getting involved in Ukraine are hanging on a razor's edge. We could be there in a heartbeat. We know the military has already beefed up troops around Europe. Many of you have told me about your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever, who have deployed to somewhere in Europe. Very few have deployed somewhere in the Middle East. Does this go down this summer? Joe wants it to. Joe wants to do the exact same thing Zelensky did. Joe wants to cancel the election. He wants to stay in power, unelected, because we're in a war. I don't know about anybody else, but about, in my opinion, the least competent commander-in-chief in the history of the United States sits in the Oval Office right now. And the guy pulling the strings for that man is just as incompetent, is just as illiterate when it comes to military, foreign diplomacy, anything that would affect this. It bears watching to see what Russia's response is going to be over the next couple of days. Ukraine took this out yesterday. What happens this weekend? Well, we're all sitting around barbecuing, playing in the pool, drinking a beer. 8,000 miles away, a nuclear war could start. And while you're sitting at the grill flipping that steak, what would you do if all of a sudden the sirens went off? This is the kind of stuff we prep for, guys. We've talked about many times NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical preparedness. Myself I've given you many suggestions on how to be ready, at least have a plan and have the equipment to seal off an area. Other channels have gone much further, talked about anything from NBC suits to gas masks to how to seal windows, etc., etc. It's getting closer, guys. We're closer now. The hell with the doomsday clock. We're closer now to the potential of nuclear war than we have been any time since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Yet most people just go along their day, la 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 la, not thinking about anything. Nobody should panic over this. The chances of it happening are still slim. But the chances of it happening are a lot greater than they were 36 hours ago. Pinball out.